Food, you can have some food before the start if you want. You have some food there. The wind, it's going to be light west, maybe light east before the finish.
Day 2 will see the fleet cross from the Swedish archipelago to Karingsund on Ekerö Island in the Åland archipelago. Just a few miles to the northwest is the island of Enskede, one of the raid's frequent ports of call and home to the Sandal brothers, Enzio and Tauno, who have lived there all their lives. Fishermen who for 22 years worked in a 4-man crew on a local trawler, the brothers are almost entirely self-sufficient, no longer wholly dependent on the state of the Baltic's fish stocks for their living.
Det beror precis hur mycket man vill ha det. Om man är nöjd med lite mindre så går det väl bra. Men det är klart att det skulle väl vara kärvt om det skulle vara ett dussin ungar.
Now 72, Enzio still remembers his youth when life on the island wasn't quite so peaceful.
Ja, det var folk i två stugor här då. Vi var ju 3 ungar i den här stugan och de andra var 7 barn. Det var mycket liv.
Even after so many years, don't the pair ever get tired of each other's company or their own beautiful part of Åland?
Nej, men det är klart att man inte riktigt lika tycker vi inte alla gånger, men det var aldrig stridigt. Man ska väl bo på den bästa platsen i världen som finns. Var ska man flytta då?
Crossing the Sea of Åland poses no threats for the leaders at the end of leg 2, but for the crews further down the fleet, the task is not so straightforward. Light and shifty winds delay the arrival of the later boats, putting the race organisers' plans to route the fleet around the islands to the north of Åland in jeopardy. Day 2 ends early with a whimper, but from the look of tomorrow's schedule, Day 3 will not. As the fleet leaves on what proves an eventful tour of Åland, the gusty northerly winds build to well over 20 knots, testing conditions for all the crews. At last, the fleet gets what it came for. At De Gerzend, the first beach checkpoint of the day, crews receive a rare 3-minute break, a chance to reflect on a demanding start to the leg.
Yeah, really good start, totally nailed it. Led to the lure mark, reached in and bloody toys went out the pram coming in here. Said we got to get low to stay in the breeze was high. Personality difference, not happy at all, lost 3 places in a mile.
Fantastic ride down here. Big waves and we were diving down all the time, felt like. Tricky to keep the speed up because you're just diving all the time.
Not too easy, well, break the 2 spur dagger board just after the start. But that's good. The weather is good today.
By the time the fleet reaches Roerdam, leg 3 is already 3 hours old, with Anders Luanda and Hansi Torsland finally recovering their senses, following the big gust that knocks them down en route. In the Scandinavian islands, wind is a commodity, rarely in short supply. The energy warming the fleet's drinks in Roerdam is generated barely half an hour further south at Noorham, one of several wind farms harnessing the Orland breeze. More are planned, but those already on stream deliver more than a quarter of Orland's energy needs. Leg 3 finally ends at Turftur after 6.5 hours of sailing. Racing for the day isn't over. On arrival, the priorities are food, patching up the damage from the previous leg, and preparation for the next. And some crews have more extensive repairs than others.
Oh, this is not going to last.
Mainsails aren't the only items coming apart at the seams. Partnerships too are under strain.
Oh, you know what it's like. One thing leads to another, and even when you're overtaking boats, you're still bloody shouting at each other sometimes. Hard work. Good fun still, good fun. That was great sailing.
By the afternoon, Team Blue are in the pink, carving through the fleet at the beginning of leg 4 to try and regain their place inside the top 10. John Beck and Gustav Morin on Team Garmin are placed even higher, poised just outside the podium places and steering clear of the kind of trouble that brings Norwegians Grunert and Gravdal's progress to a spectacular halt. At the boat checkpoint in Bergo, it's Matti and Mickey Niemanen's turn to suffer a momentary lapse in concentration. Swedish crew Martin Halston and Callie Torlin are also caught cutting corners. When, just a few minutes later, Thomas Johansson and Brad Marsh put the repairs at Turftur to the test, the New Zealanders' worst fears are realised. Day 3's destination is Mariehamn, historic capital of Orland and home port of the Nordboen, a 1930s North Sea fishing schooner that, despite his misgivings, her owner found hard to resist.
I earned my living by sailing professionally on traditional sailing ships. This is a way of wasting some of my earnings, I'd say. To combine modern fast sailing and the navigation among the islands would have been great fun, but I'm a bit too old now. I guess this is where the finishing line will be then.